Hey there, welcome to this episode, all about managing our patterns. Now today I'm going to press pattern select and you will notice that I only have one pattern in this entire project, and I'm going to start off with a couple of basic functions and then do a couple of slightly more complicated ones. Now the first basic function would be I have a pattern here, I'd like to just make a copy of it, and we can do that by pressing copy. We can grab this particular pattern, which is A1, tells us on our screen. Then we can choose a flashing pad, which is a free space. And of course, we could do that to another bank if we like. But in this case, really simple. I'm just going to move it to A2 and it will tell us on the screen here. So nice and easy to follow. Then we can press copy and we have made a duplicate of our pattern. Now, let's say I want to delete a pattern. I just press delete. They will go this kind of purpley color. When I select one, this flashes again and I can press it and delete that pattern. So again, nice and simple. Now we can use one of our little shift and menu buttons here, and we've got shift and pad 5, which you'll see is exchange, and that means that we can exchange two pads. So let's say we had a pattern here and a pattern on 3 and I just wanted to swap them over, we could do that. However, in this case, what I want to do, I'm going to use it to actually move my pattern to a completely different part of my project, just because, you know, maybe you want to be organized, you want to move things around. We can use shift pad 5 for exchange, take our pattern here, and you'll see we've selected it, and I want to move it to pad 16, press copy, and you will notice it has now moved it. It hasn't duplicated it, but moved it to a new location. So the next one here, I'm just going to play you my pattern because I want you to hear what's in here. It's a very simple drum loop with some drums and a melodic element. And this is one of the slightly more complicated things, but it's not horrible to follow and it's really useful. Let's say I have this pattern here and I want to make a duplicate of it just like we've done before. However, I only want to take certain elements of that pattern and copy them over. In this case, I just want to take the drums and have those moved over, and we can do just that. So if we press copy again, we can choose our pattern. We can choose a destination for it. I'm going to move it back up to pad 1. And before we do that, you'll notice you can actually see it on the screen here, remain for samples to copy. So when I press remain, it opens up any samples that are within that pattern, and they're kind of just slightly more lit. Hopefully that shows up on the screen there. I know on my first 3 pads here, I have my drum samples, and here is a melodic. And as I select them, you can hear them. I'm going to take just the drums, and you can see obviously they turn white once you've kind of selected them. I can press remain again here and then press copy, and now I have made a copy of this pattern but just the drums. So you can see how cool that is. That would be very useful when you're splitting things up and you're, building your tracks. Now we can essentially do the same thing again. I just want to show you this resampling technique as the last thing here. We can take our pattern and we can kind of make a duplicate, but we can actually bounce it down to an audio file, which can come in handy when you want to send it to your DAW. So we do the same thing again. We're going to start with this pattern here that has everything. I'm going to do copy, grab the pattern, just as we did before. Now, rather than choosing a destination here, what we're going to do is press pattern select, and what you'll notice is this is now in our samples menu. We're not in pattern anymore, and you'll know that because on bank A I had these 4 samples that I'm using within my pattern. Now it's asking me to choose another destination where we want to send our bounced audio to, and in this case let's just choose pad 15, so we know we are sending it to pad 15. But what we can also do before we bounce it down to audio is exactly the same thing, remain. So let's say I want to make a bounce down version of that whole loop, but actually I want to take out something like the hi-hats. I could do that here by selecting everything except my hi-hats. Then when I press remain again here, and I can do copy. And you will notice it takes a little second because it's now bouncing down some audio. Now it's complete. It takes us back into our samples view here. We're not in pattern select anymore. And you will notice on our pad 15 here, we now have our bounce down audio. And if I just select this file here and open this up, you will see it's an audio file. And when I play this, let's put it into loop mode, we should have no hi-hats in here. Very clever stuff, very useful for resampling, bouncing down audio and doing that kind of stuff. So that was managing our patterns. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.